Hi, it's Slater, aka Science Toy Maker. This video and its linked text page are about making the Jagwing foam walk-along glider, which can be surfed on a wave of air. Invented by then engineering student Michael Thompson, the Jagwing is a good first glider. The points create lift by forming spinning vortices of air. It's easy to make, it's easy to steer, and it has great resistance to stalling. Details for each step are on the companion text page, linked below. Reference the numbers in the corner. You'll need a sheet of thin 0.5 millimeter EPS foam, which you can make yourself or buy inexpensively. Print out the Jagwing pattern linked below. No scaling. Rough cut out the pattern. Cut very close to the ends and at the big point. Put the pattern on a piece of foam. The front point should be exactly at the edge of the foam. There's an equal amount of foam sticking out on each end. I'm only coloring the tape so that it shows up on camera. Tape the ends. Do not fold over the tape to the other side. In the next step, do not cut the ends with the tape. Do cut on the solid black line in back. Also cut out the 2 black notches in back. Cut the points in the front. Put the pattern in the foam under the cover of a paperback book so the dashed lines of the back flap peek out. Bend up, but be careful. It's easy to rip the foam. Apply force right against the book cover so you establish a clear, straight fold. You'll adjust the exact angle later. Let it flatten enough now to be in the book for the next 2 folds. Reposition. Again, bend up and clearly establish a fold. With the 3 folds complete, cut the solid black lines, not the dashed lines, at the end, which will separate the paper from the foam. The pattern can be reused. Go back to the folds. Adjust the angles of the ends to go vertically up. Cut out the gauge and adjust the back angle. You can measure the angle from the top or the bottom. If you let go of the glider now, it stalls and flounders, but adding a little weight in the front of the glider keeps it from stalling. If your foam came with a thin copper wire, cut off about 155 millimeters or 6 inches. Bend it in half like a V. Cut off a tiny piece of tape and stick it on the angle of the wire. Stick the tape to the top front of the glider. Bend so they're like feet. If your foam did not have wire, cut out this long piece on the pattern page. Tape the wide end on with a tiny piece of tape. Curl the paper over an edge, such as the back of scissors. Launch the glider by pinching gently in the back between thumb and finger and giving it a gentle push. If it stalls, making peaks and valleys, then it doesn't have enough weight in front. But instead of actually adding weight, just bending the weight more forward has the same effect. If it dives, do the opposite. Shift the weight to the back. If it always turns one way, check the glider for symmetry. Bending the part of the back flap, which is opposite the direction of the turn, can help. In extreme cases, bending the front at the end opposite the direction of the turn can straighten the glide. You can also take off from the board. There's a separate video just about keeping the gliders up. Briefly, here's some basics. As you start flying, you'll need something to deflect the air upward. Cardboard, a pizza box, a cereal box, even a large book. My favorite for a big, lightweight, and durable board is a plastic kind of election sign. Eventually, you might learn to keep it up with only your hands or head, but start out with the board. Never let the glider get low on the board, and never let the glider get ahead. It should always be on the verge of blowing over the top. Here I'm doing everything wrong. I launch low, the glider gets too far ahead, and it's low on the board. But here I launch high, at eye level, and I never let the glider get ahead of me. Keep the board more like a wall, not a floor, unless you want to land. You steer the glider by pushing it in the right direction with the board. The air you fly in needs to be very still. If you fly near other people, the glider will be thrown around by the turbulent air. Outside is rarely still enough to fly. This is launching backwards and upside down, but it flips to fly right, a trick we learned from the Jagwing's inventor, Michael Thompson. Flying with hands only takes lots of practice. Try different hand positions. The sweet spot is staying exactly under the back. It's also possible to fly with one arm. If you curve the points a little, you might gain efficiency, and you might be able to cut a little weight off the front. Naturally, the most advanced flying is teaching others how to fly. If this video is helpful, make a comment or send an email. It's encouraging to know of your success.